I'm Mark Jones, I'm the Programme Director for the East Sussex GP Specialty Scheme. I'm one of 5. It's a large scheme because we've merged Eastbourne and Hastings, which incorporates one hospital trust, the East Sussex Hospital Trust.
Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Skinner. In our training scheme, as other training schemes, it's 3 years. 2 years will be spent in hospitals and then 1 year in general practice. Some of the programmes will have 4 months in general practice in that first 2 years. And what I think is good about this area is we have a good variety of practices, both rural and urban.
Our program directors are with us for the whole 3 years, which is amazing because you start with someone in your first year and you carry on with them with the same person for 3 years. You get to know them on a working level and a personal level, and it grows you as a person, not just as a doctor.
The different scope of pathology that you see in your training is pretty good. And then working at the Conquest Hospital, you're sort of pretty hands-on in comparison to some of the other hospitals up in London where there's a lot more sort of competition for doing procedures and things like that. So it was a steep learning curve, but one I enjoyed.
I like being in this training programme because it gives you a variety of rotations to be on. You get exposure in obstetrics and gynaecology, in psychiatry, in paediatrics and A&E, which I feel are all really important to have a good experience and exposure for GP.
It's a nice area to train into. It's a very welcoming hospital. You can see bits of everything. You can have an experience for like in every specialty. It's a good experience.
So a lot of my consultants I'm on first name terms with. We've got each other's phone numbers and you stay in touch as you progress through your training, and that I think is something that you get in a local hospital that sets you up for a future that you just can never really replicate if you're over a large big city area.
We use a different array of teaching methods to try and capture everybody's learning needs. And we do have formal teaching days where we get both consultants and GPs to talk on it. We also try and involve the trainees in that to develop it and also run it.
In ST1, normally from departments to departments, we get the weekly teaching, once or twice a week. And from the GP side, we get VTS days and we get GP workshops.
At the moment what we have is a setup where every term, so we split the year into the academic terms as school, and every term we have 5 full days where everyone can meet up. Any trainee that's in general practice can come without any problem. Obviously the trainees that are in hospitals have to make sure that they get study leave and the wards are covered quite naturally, but usually the hospital are very good at allowing people to come. And usually in these days we have some external speakers come and talk about general practice related topics.
In grand rounds or in any other specialty, you're very much welcomed. There are a lot of things that this hospital do, for example, webinars, we've got teaching days, we've got grand rounds. All these things can be put up into ePortfolio, which really, shows that you're up to date with everything going on.
We're given an educational supervisor who is meant to be our supervisor for the 3 years. So she's or he is your point of contact for any concerns, and also they support you. Then you also have a separate programme director who you meet regularly at your teaching sessions. So it's 2 people you have really. You can discuss any concerns with them.
What we particularly like to see is the people grow during the 3 years on the scheme. So we're very much into the pastoral side of things and peer learning. So we form what we call programme director groups, where we have a mixture of all the different years in small groups.
So what we do in our training scheme is we split you into 5 smaller groups, and each of you has an assigned programme director. So one would be me, and the others, there's another 4. And then throughout the 3 years, you'll have contact with us and the rest of your group. And we've got things like a WhatsApp group so that you can have informal chats, questions about the training, these kind of things.
We're quite a small sort of cohort of trainees in my year, my ST3 year, and that means that we've developed quite good relationships with one another. That's really useful in terms of the job that we're actually doing, but also the examinations, which are sort of important to pass to progress on to your CCT. And I find that being that we've got a small cohort, this has sort of allowed me to sort of progress.
They're very interactive in terms of like we have a barbecue after this BTS training day, which is amazing. So, and we had another one before as well. There's pool day, there's barbecue day. So we're the different trainees, they try to arrange different activities in terms of keeping in touch with each other, not just in terms of practice, but knowing each other, so that if you have a difficulty in training, you can come up to your seniors, you can come up to your friends, you can come up to anyone to speak to. You don't feel stuck, basically.
One of the really special things about East Sussex is that every year we have an away day, which is a health and well-being day. And this year we did it in a vineyard. So we got to spend a day in the grounds of this beautiful vineyard. We got time to do guided meditations and, got to sample some very nice wine and also have some, stunning local foods. And I think that's really good. There is a very holistic sense that they want you to be well-rounded and well-balanced, because then you can be the best doctor you can be.
There's 5 programme directors, and then you've got Tina Scott, who has been here since I can remember. I think she's part of the furniture now. And she's a great resource for questions about study leave, study funding, the rotas, these kind of questions. If Tina doesn't know, she knows who does know, and she'll point you in the right direction. We also have our website, which is a great resource for looking up what to expect. There's links to the e-portfolio that we expect you to do when you're training.
One thing which did attract me initially, because I'm from London, so that was the beaches. So different kind of beach, more sunny. You can go spend time with family. It's more in terms of weather, it's really nice.
The living arrangements are value for money. You could be living in London and the prices are sky high. I train there and I know, it's a lot less living down the south. The weather's very good, so that's always a very good point.
East Sussex is great. You're spread across a really lovely part of the south coast, Eastbourne and Hastings. They are, in some ways, they're very different areas, but there's just beautiful countryside, lovely walks, and of course a beach that you can go to. It's a wonderful place to bring families to. We're only ever an hour and a half from London, and of course Brighton, which is a fantastic city, is only round the corner.
We do get quite a large number wanting to stay in the area, and also, there are jobs available, and so it's a good place to come and train, learn the systems so that you can filter into the local primary care.
The scheme is really good. You have good support, you have good seniors, you have good supervisors, you have lots of opportunities for learning and leadership, and it's just a nice place to live as well.
It's a great training scheme. It's well supported, you're doing great jobs, and it's a great area.
From day one, the ethos is to be friendly and to work hard, but equally play hard and get along with each other.
If you're at all interested in coming to the area, then I would encourage you to research and look into both Eastbourne and Hastings and the local area to see whether East Sussex would suit you.